Video games and societal violence. This is an argument that has been going on for at least the past decade. Whenever somebody tries to blame video games for violence in society, I get so angry. For me, video games do not cause violence. It is the factors within the person's life, how they were raised, the environment that they're exposed to on a daily basis, and how they deal with life in general that are the factors that one person needs to look at when determining what causes violence in society. There have been years of research and hundreds of case studies trying to determine the actual factors of the school shootings and other violent acts within society. And to this day, all tests have come back with pretty much the same answer: inconclusive. Which means that there is no direct link between violence in video games and the violence committed within society. I understand that a lot of people want to blame something, but it's not video games. It's just video games are an electronic medium that is a good outlet for people. Video games can be used for creative purposes or as a non-violent release mechanism for people who have frustrations, and they use the video games to take it out instead of in the real world. There are people on both sides of this argument. You have the gamers on one side, and you have professionals in the fields of psychology, sociology, psychiatrics, and you even have the anti-game activists who obviously have their own agenda. However, there's never really going to be a resolution to this argument until, truly, I don't know if there's ever going to be one. Because somebody is always going to try to blame something. And more often than not, it is the violence in video games and other electronic mediums. As an article written in the SF Gate reads, there's been a debate raging on a website called For Board Intelligence for at least over a year and a half. This was printed back in 2002. A gamer who chat handle is Driver3000 wrote, "Most violence happens because you were brought up in a bad environment. You can't tell me that playing a few rounds of 007 or running down..." Henry Jenkins, a professor of media studies at MIT, had this to say on the matter as well. "Media effects are the immediate American answer to the problem with violence. We're preoccupied with scientific and medical authority. We believe we can subject human culture to a lab experiment and come away with an answer to human behavior. The bizarre thing is that we've turned to pseudoscience to get that answer." Jenkins is intimately familiar with the ways Americans hunt for the origins of violence in media. He researches how the media affects human behavior and was one of a handful of expert witnesses called to testify before Congress in 1999 about the role of violent entertainment in situations like Columbine. "Most criminologists don't consider media violence to be a serious contribution to crime," Jenkins explained. They look at domestic violence and real violence and how they perpetrate themselves. They also consider access to weapons, plus mental health and poverty. There are a lot of fundamental questions they ask about the causes of violence, and media consumption ranks very low on that list. As you can see, people who actually deal with the crime scenes and the cleanup and other things like that of these violent occurrences, they are not considering violence in video games as a primary factor. They're looking beyond those factors. You know, as it said, they're looking at poverty levels, mental health issues, which is a big thing, which kind of takes me into another part. Another gamer who goes by the handle Stealth Toilet, also on Stealth Toilet, also on For Board Intelligence, says he disagrees that people will confuse reality with a game. You have to be pretty screwed up in the head in the first place to have that happen to you. Do games about helping people give you more empathy? Do games about doing work make you have a better work ethic? Do racing games make you a reckless driver? There's no link to any of this. And this is why I believe that there really is no basis for people to blame video games for society.